European eel are in critical decline through a multitude of different factors. Anthropogenic barriers impact the ability for eel to migrate. So they impact the upstream migration of juvenile eel to their developmental areas, as well as impacting the migration downstream to migrate to their spawning areas. They're also impacted by the likes of climate change, pollution and disease. And of course, they're impacted by exploitation through fishing. And European eel are one of the few species that are impacted at multiple life stages by fishing, not just at the adults. So glass eels, juvenile eels, yellow eels, and mature eels are all taken. Landlocked reservoirs are really important for conservation and management of European eel. When water companies want to top up their reservoirs during dry periods, they pump in water from rivers. And when they do that, they pump in lots of different fish species, including European eel. Now, these reservoirs are actually amazing habitat for European eel. They're great places for them to grow and develop. But once in there, they're trapped and they can't complete their life cycle and undergo their spawning migration. So we have significant populations in these reservoirs. And if we can relocate these eel out of these reservoirs, this can then play an important role in hitting targets for management and policy, as well as contributing to the breeding stock. In this study, we used acoustic tags on European eel, which release an acoustic signal and are detected by receivers that we had around a landlocked reservoir in the UK. From these detections, we can get individual positions of eel and movement tracks, so we can understand how eel move around. We combined that with social network analysis, which is just a way of investigating the social structure of movements in tagged animals to investigate if eels do aggregate, what's their group size, and how connected the individuals are within an aggregation. We then compared that data to aggregations created from random data sets as null models to see what the specific drivers of aggregations in our systems were. In our study, we found that our aggregations differed significantly from the aggregations created from random data. And what this means is that our aggregations aren't driven by fixed resources like a specific habitat. So eels are actually driven probably more likely by social interactions or by dynamic temporal resources. And this just means that you can't just, if you want to optimize trap and transport to relocate eel out of these freshwater systems, you can't just put nets in specific areas that these aggregations may move. And we need to study what the environmental drivers and the sociality of these eels are in order to best understand these aggregations and to optimize trap and transport. Looking forward to the important steps for eel conservation and management, we need to figure out some of the best ways to increase the spawning stock of European eel, one by relocating animals out of the systems, but also finding methods to increase the passability around anthropogenic barriers, such as weir and dams, and further investigations on the likes of pollution and disease to minimize any anthropogenic impacts we're having on this species. It's important to conserve and manage these species because they're such an important part of the ecology of both marine and freshwater systems. They're important prey species to lots of different fish and marine mammal species, but also European eel are a really important commercial fishery for lots of European countries.